our first creek crossing. Well, that's exciting. Hey there everyone, and welcome to the town of Arai, Colorado. We're just heading up the hill on our way to Silverton for the evening. So we've got a nice pretty mountain drive up over Red Mountain Pass and along the $1 Million Highway. The plan is to set ourselves up in Silverton for tomorrow morning, which is the start of the Hard Rock 100 foot race. A race that's very close to my heart, that I've run twice and captained an aid station at for several years, and I've got a lot of friends starting tomorrow that I'd really like to see as they head off onto their 100-mile journey into the wilderness. So that's the plan. We don't have a very long day on the bike plan, but we're definitely done with climbing big mountains and adventures on 2 feet. So we're going to enjoy the bike today, and I do have one little side detour that I'd like to do, which I think we have time for, assuming the weather cooperates, and that is just up the road here at about 15 miles is the turnoff for Ophir Pass. So Ophir Pass is a famous Colorado mountain pass that a lot of people will do in their Jeeps or on their motorcycles, and I've been up it before. It's quite lovely. I'd like to just ride up to the pass, get some scenic photos up there, and then we'll turn around and come back down the same way we went up. All right. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful up there. Always one of my favorite rides on a motorcycle. Highly recommended if you're in this area to ride the stretch between Arai and Silverton. It is just stunning and a little bit nerve-rattling too, because you get on some really steep cliff sides here with no shoulder. So if you're not paying attention, you could end up several thousand feet down in a gully somewhere. So this definitely requires full concentration. Most people just kind of take their time on this road and enjoy the scenery, but as much as I would love to look around, I think I'll focus on the road ahead. So no guardrails either, which is just wild that they don't have any barriers or anything. Up here on the left, we've got one of the entrance ways to the Alpine Loop, which is something I would love to do on the CRF one day. It's a beautiful mountain loop. I've done it in a Jeep before, but never on 2 wheels. But I think it would be really fun to do on the CRF. Yeah, right there is one of the primary entrances, and it's technical and chunky, but very doable in the CRF. I don't know that I'd want to take the Ibex up there. I think I would probably end up spilling it. So one of these red peaks in front of us is Red Mountain, and it's red because there's iron in the rock that's oxidized, so it's essentially rusted. But I've actually climbed up to a random sub-peak in this mountain group here because I had to service a weather station way up on top of the mountain for work several years ago. We were doing a microclimate study in this area, and a friend of mine asked me to come out this way and swap out memory cards and update a few of the instruments on the weather station. So I've actually been up to one of the high peaks up there, completely off trail too. It was a bushwhacking, route finding adventure of sorts. Look at these switchbacks we have coming up on the $1 Million Highway here. This is gonna be good. Let's do it. Lots of tight twists and turns. All over 10,000 feet too. Ooh, guys tailgating. I think these are our last switchbacks here until we top out. So yeah, 11,000 feet I believe is what the pass is at. This last one is really tight. Whoa. Okay. There you go. I think we're about to top out on the pass here. This is also the place where Black Bear Pass Road starts. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's one of the most ridiculous roads in the country. Red Mountain Pass, 11,000 feet, and that road off to the right is the start of the Black Bear Pass Road. No thank you. That is one adventure I am very happy to not do. Once we get up a little bit higher, I'll pull over and see about getting the drone out. But for now, I just want to go up a little bit. It says it's only 2.5 miles to the top. For some reason, I thought it was a lot longer of a road. So if that's the case, we should be up at the top in no time. Unless it starts to get really technical. In which case, we'll just turn around. This is where I actually prefer the lower gearing on this bike. I know a lot of people complain about the 14-tooth sprocket and swap it out for a 15 to get better highway sort of performance. But you know, when you're doing stuff like this, I can putt along here in second gear and have plenty. I always wanted to go up this road on a motorcycle, and every year I've come through, I've been in a hurry or I've been in a rush, and I haven't, you know, had the time to really come up here. So this is the first year where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get to Silverton pretty early. Let's go up Ophir Pass. Why not? We're here. We got the time. Our first creek crossing. Well, that's exciting. Hey. Getting the tires wet. Man, this is really fun. This is a great road. I remember coming up this road in a rental sedan. And I actually went down the other side. I scraped the bottom of that car so many times on rocks. All I kept thinking was when I returned that rental car, I was gonna get charged all sorts of money. Once you start down that other side, you're pretty committed. And so I kind of just said, well, I can't really turn around. I just got to keep going now. And I did. And I eventually made it without busting open the oil pan or anything, which was good. All right, starting to get a little steeper in here. Still totally fine, but slightly elevating the nerves a little. Gotta pay attention now. Uh-oh, I'm seeing raindrops. It's starting to rain. So far, it's just a couple of little sprinkles, but let's keep an eye on that. Oh, yeah. This is getting a little spicy. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, it looks like the road's easing up a little bit. So, I'm gonna sit for a moment. Yeah, you can see the raindrops coming down now. but I think it's moving on. Yes, the clouds are moving on. Excellent. Ooh, he's ripping it up. Much better rider than me. It's a sweet bike though. I did notice on that one steep section that the tires were slipping out. So these stock tires are great, but not quite good enough to really handle steep, rocky terrain. Back through the creek crossing. We forded the creek. All right, I could see the highway, so we're almost there. And then it's just a few miles into Silverton, where we could stop and grab a coffee and relax the rest of the day. So, not a super jam-packed day, but it's kind of nice to take a relative day off after those really big hikes. I mean, I did take off on Tuesday as well after Capitol, but that was mostly like a mental health day. I know that sounds crazy, but I had some things planned for Tuesday on the motorcycle, and I ended up staying another night in the same room because I was so stressed out after the hike, and I kind of just took an entire day off to let my nerves settle after dealing with that exposure. So yeah, that's okay though. In the end, I think it was absolutely what I needed, and I was able to handle Snowmass yesterday with a clear mind and clear focus. So sometimes you just need those mental health days, especially after nearly perishing on a mountainside. Alright, back up on the highway, and we're just gonna pop right out. Yeah! Well, that was fun. We didn't quite make it all the way to the top, but you know how sometimes you're just not feeling it? Sometimes you're feeling very anxious, and you know, sometimes you're feeling really bold and confident and gutsy, and you see something ahead of you and you're like, let's do it, let's go for it. I think I used up all of that feeling over the last couple days, and so when I got to that turn that was really, really steep, and I didn't think that the tires would be able to handle it, and then it started hailing and it didn't look great weather-wise. I think it was just one too many things, and I said, nope, don't want to go on. So anyway, yeah, it's an important thing to come to understand about yourself. I'm convinced, obviously on motorcycles, but just also with a lot of situations in life where, you know, if you've got that little voice, a little fluttering that's just like something's a little bit off, I'm convinced that those are the moments in life where if you don't listen to that voice, you end up reading about somebody in the newspaper. And that goes for the 14ers too. There was at least 2 that I can think of that I turned around on and did not finish, and had to go back and do them at another time because of various situations, mostly weather. There's the sign, Hard Rock 100. Excellent. Hey there, everyone. Future John here. So I realized that this fifth part of this series might be a little underwhelming compared to some of the dramatic stuff that I was just showing, climbing mountain peaks and such, but I still wanted to share it. It was a very pretty drive along the Million Dollar Highway, and especially up towards Ophir Pass. And I also realized that, yes, we didn't make it all the way to the pass, but what you didn't see in the video clips, because my battery died, was that right as I was turning the next corner on the road, there was a very sharp incline and the back tires started spinning out. And so rather than try to gun it up this sharp turn with the stock tires with hail also falling, I decided to just turn around in a spot where it was easy and take my time on the ride down and get some drone footage and such that you saw. So that's why we didn't go all the way to the pass, and I'm still pretty content with that decision. I think I made the right call there. That's the video. We've got one more part in the series. Part 6 will be the last bit before we move on to new material. So thanks again for joining along, and we'll see you in the final episode of the Colorado 2025 adventure. Take care.